Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another crypto video. Today, I have an orientational video for you guys on Ripple and XRP, and I think this is an important video for everybody who's holding XRP right now for yourself to realize a couple of things. But before we get into any of that, make sure you press the like button to show your support and subscribe to be notified every time I upload a new video. Also, put a comment in the comment section saying I love XRP or I love cryptocurrency in your native language. So if you speak Brazilian, put it down there in Brazilian. If you speak English, put it there in English. If you speak Dutch, stop it in Netherlands, you know the thing, yeah. Put it in there and let's see how many languages we can get. Now, in today's video, I wanted to make something quite special. And the reason for that is because really today has been one of my highlight days. I've been behind this computer screen for a lot of hours just looking at XRP's progress, realizing a couple of things, having a ton of conversations about the price, development, the thoughts, and really trying to capture what a lot of people are thinking about the coin right at this moment. And one thing I noticed is that a lot of people said, I'm lucky to be an investor. And I often said, we're still early. And those two things really ran through my mind the whole day. Like, we're so lucky, we're so early. We're so lucky, we're so early. But then I wondered, are we really lucky? Are we really early? And it made me do a little bit of a search, and even though it's not a concluded search, I do think my point in the end is quite clear. So let me take a couple of steps through with you guys. And first off here, in my previous video, I showed you guys the rich list, right? The XRP ledger rich list, which shows the accounts and how much XRP is on each one of them, or how many XRP. I also still don't know if it's many or much. I put it on Twitter as a question because it messed me up, right? It both sounds really well, and I get the explanations, but still, I don't know which one I should go for. But I noticed that when do you qualify as a holder of XRP, right? At first I thought, you know what, since there's about 2 million accounts, there's actually 1.9 million, but about 2 million accounts, and exchange wallets are often counted as one, but a lot of these ones that are between 0 and 19 are kind of obsolete, and even these ones are often obsolete, the 20 to 500 XRP wallets. Maybe we can take a little bit off, maybe we could take about, a couple 100,000 at least off of this number, right? And a lot of the top ones maybe, or maybe held by one person. It's kind of hard to decide, but I was like, yeah, most likely this number of accounts is not close to 2 million. But if you do say it is close to 2 million, right? Let's say you actually say there's 2 million people holding XRP. Because an account could be one person. In theory, it could be 1,000 persons, but also it could be 10 persons having one account. So it's really difficult to estimate how many people have it. But for fun, I just thought, you know what, let's do it as if 2 million people were holding XRP. Easiest calculation of my life is 2 million people divided over the 8 billion total people in the world times 100% equals 0.025%. What that kind of means is all the holders right now equal 0.025% of the world. When I thought about that for a second, I was like, wow, out of everybody in the world, we're like the top 0.025%. And that says something to me, right? That's like, this means we're really quite early. This means we're really doing something quite crazy. If we're such a small percentage of the people that really know about this and really are actively investing, that does tell me something, all right? And from a broader perspective, what XRP, or I guess what Ripple is trying to do through RippleNet, through then again ODL, on-demand liquidity, the previously called XRapid, is of course create these instant remittances, right? Or nearly instant remittances. And one fun fact about that is a ton of people will switch their US dollars through XRP to Mexican pesos, for example, but there will also be a ton of people who are going to be holding XRP First of all, to easily be able to transfer your money around the world, because if you have XRP, you can really send it anywhere you want in a split of an eye, in the split of a second right there. So there's going to be a ton of people holding it. That's one thing, which is going to ram this number up like crazy. Second of all, once XRP really starts to develop a lot further, or I should say once ODL gets a lot more popular and people understand that you're using XRP as a bridge, I think as well that there's going to be an influx of people who are just going to FOMO into it. Again, further ramming this number up like crazy. I think, this 8 billion is already taken quite broadly, and I think we should keep it that way. We can put 7.7, but I'm like, yeah, what does it matter? This is not going to make the biggest of a difference. So I just put it at 8 billion for convenience, since most likely there's also a ton of people who are not counted in this, right? Just assuming that this 7.76 billion still misses quite a lot of people, because how could you know, right? How the frig do they do this? I have no idea, but I'm guessing they're missing a ton of people. I think it's just averaged out, or like through statistical analysis, you're just assuming the population. But still, I think, they're most likely missing a couple of people, which we added there. And then I was like, all right, let's actually deduct a couple of these people, though, because we're taking it really broadly, because 2 million people, and I actually checked out a couple of Reddits to just make sure we're not completely on the wrong path. This article comes from the beginning of 2018, I believe, but the message is quite clear and actually quite good. How many people do you think are invested in XRP? Time and again, I hear stories of people not knowing anyone around them who is invested in crypto, let alone XRP. I myself am in that boat and generally keep it to myself unless specifically asked about crypto to avoid being that guy. So, fun fact, I personally know quite a few people who hold XRP who are close to me, but I don't think that many people know that I hold XRP, just because I would not really let them know, because why would you, right? And on the contrary, though, I guess I'm also a little bit of excluded from the situation, because I know quite a lot of people who do hold XRP, because I like to talk about it with them if they tell me about it. But there was actually one person here in the comment section who said something funny. Who dare said, well, I am, and I know another 2 that are invested, so that's 3 to add to your list. Sorry, but I had a real big giggle when I saw that one. Thought I should quickly share it. There was a post a few days ago summarizing some of the data from the Ledger Exposed, which is, of course, this website right here, and which got me thinking about how many people are there actually invested in crypto and XRP. From the Ledger Exposed, there are roughly 1.3 million wallets, which now, of course, has increased to about 1.9 million, which is actually a ridiculously big increase. For 1.5 years or so, that's doing pretty damn good. Another 50% increase in wallets, with only 1 million wallets holding more than the reserve, and a further 127,000 holding just the reserve. It's pretty safe to write off these wallets as not currently invested. So I'm assuming they just meant to state that this bottom part, they most likely do not fit, and most likely within this part, there's also a 120,000 or so, or even more, that hold exactly 20 XRP. I think that's I think what he's trying to say. It's pretty safe to write these wallets off, though, because if you have less than 20 XRP in a wallet or in a account, or even 20 XRP in an account, we can really write them off as invest in XRP or as a person. I think that's a good idea to go for. And if you go for that leaves about 873,000 wallets. Now, of course, for us that's actually way more. It's still about 1.5 million, I would say, with more than the reserve, but there is a very substantial number of low-value wallets. There are only 517,000 wallets which have a balance to or greater than 100 XRP. And again, it's not that simple to check it in here. As you can see, it's bundled from 20 to 500, but he's telling us, so let's just take that with an easy eye. This drops again to only 230,000 wallets with more than 1,000 XRP. So he's saying 100. I don't know if he meant 100 or 1,000 if you calculate everything up together, but I guess he means 100, because this I think doesn't even add up to 500,000 right there. All right, if we go back again, he says that drops again to only 230,000 wallets with more than 1,000. Okay, I see him now. Never mind. I see him saying that's 230,000 if you drop it to more than 1,000 XRP, which I would consider real investors. All right, any person who holds more than 1,000 XRP really is invested in the currency because that's a great deal of money. I think that's $250 right now, $270. I would count that as a person, yes. All right, for an investor perspective, it's not that big of a deal, but I guess to a lot of people, 1,000 XRP, $270 invested in such a foreign thing is a lot of money. So anybody above 1,000 XRP, I would definitely count as an investor. By the way, this is not financial advice. You would logically accept this dropping in numbers as you move to the investing goalposts, but where would you draw the line on invested? It's also fairly safe to assume that a single investor holding multiple wallet accounts for a percentage of these. There is a lot of investors that solely use the exchange and don't have their individual wallets, however. So to quickly summarize this, there's going to be, as I said before, people who have multiple wallets, who have multiple accounts. Like, for example, me. I would most likely have more than 20 different ones, maybe even 30, maybe 40 different ones. So from that perspective, yes, it's true. On the contrary, though, there's also a lot of people who have just put their money on an exchange, and what happens then is there's some different exchanges who do different things. Some exchanges, for example, take every person who puts it on there, gives them a different wallet, or it gives them a different account, and then transfers it out of there. But there's also exchanges, who most likely do it differently. But the point I'm trying to make there is, if you don't have an individual wallet, but only one on an exchange, you most likely only have either one or zero wallets, kind of on your own name, right? And some people have like two, for example, one on the exchange and one themselves. Some people have, any amount of different numbers. And we may never know exactly how many people worldwide are invested in XRP, but how many investors do you think there are? Personally, I wouldn't be surprised if there were more than 300,000 individuals worldwide currently invested in XRP. He said, I would be surprised, Note, I am not counting institutions/entities like exchanges, bank companies, and I'm assuming a minimum of 1,000 XRP to be called invested. Investors solely on exchanges included here. I believe this puts us in a good stead for when XRP becomes the standard. Edit, why are people downvoting this? Sure, it's conjecture, but is it really worth downvoting? Rally tally from comments 47. All right, so I also don't know why you would downvote this. I think it's actually a pretty good question and pretty good analysis, pretty good idea. The only question is exactly, when to where does it count as an investor and how many addresses per person should we take as average? Because, for example, these bigger wallets are sometimes bundled up out of thousands of persons, right? You would kind of think. So from that perspective, again, it's very hard to go for. But I was like, all right, if we go out of an average, every person out there holds two wallets or two accounts. And a lot of these ones, like, for example, all of these can be negated. Let's go for 1 million people, right? Most likely it's way less that hold XRP. I don't think it's 1 million people out of the world yet. But if we go for 1 million people, it means that about 1%, or like 1.5-ish, but let's say about 1% would be 10 times as much. I meant to say 0.01% of the world. So if there's 1 million people right now invested in XRP, it will be about 0.0125, or you could say 0.015 or whatever percent of the world that you are, which means we're really freaking early, guys. Wow. All right. I thought about this for way too long now, and it's really been bothering me. It's been looking at me. I've been looking at it. I've been thinking about it. It's been bothering me because I still realize sometimes that we're so lucky. And that we got this opportunity, that we're into it, we're investing, we're happy with everything. It's such a special opportunity. All right, guys, we're the 0.01% of the investors. And same stories that you see with Amazon sometimes, same story that you see with some of these bigger companies that took off at one point. Many people are going to be like, oh, I wish I invest back in the day. And we don't have to be those people, it kind of looks like, right? Because, wow, it just blows my mind at what stage we are. And I think that's just really an orientational piece for people to just showcase again how fortunate we are to be in this position. And this does not only go for XRP, actually. It goes for most of the crypto in the live coin watch or coin market cap. For example, if you were to calculate your BTC holdings, I guess BTC would be the least unique one. I guess you could go more so for example, an XTZ, a Cardano, a Stellar, a TRX. Maybe also not go for any real Chinese coins like that because they have a lot of people over there. You know, if you go for some of these coins and you're just going to calculate how many people could hold it and then how many people there are in the world, you just, again, remember how fortunate you are that you found out about this and that you actually took the step to invest. Because in a couple of years, those fruits are going to bear off. I don't know what the English saying about that is, but I'm very freaking excited for it, guys. I'm very freaking excited for it. But hey, everybody, if you enjoyed this video and you learned something new, or you're thinking about this now too, make sure you press the like button and comment down below what you'd like to see next. Make sure you subscribe for more daily crypto content because I really do appreciate that. And also, guys, have a very nice day.